Here you got a fire on your screen.
Alright, so it's rise and shine this morning. Just gonna go downstairs and see what they got for breakfast. Just gonna make sure I got the key. Good. Look down here. Anyway, let's stop and have some food. There's that cat. Come here, cat. Come on, cat. Come here, cat. Oh, you're a nice little cat. I thought it was raining for a minute, but it's actually just all the snow melting off the tin roof of the building. People always dressed up nice back in those days, even when they were out in the bush here. Alright, just sitting here in the lobby with the wood stove going.
Here you got a fire on your screen.
Just about ready to head out. Good cat. Good cat. Alright, so this is the Jacket Club's lake right here. Kind of an older sign here. I don't know if you can read that at all, but pause it and read it. We're gonna take a little walk over here. And you can't, I don't think they allow you to go in this lake anymore because of contamination. Mercury and all that good stuff. A nice crisp fall day out here today. You can see all the steam on the water. Just seen on the side of the road some equipment for sale here, so I thought I'd give it a quick check out. Ooh, 60,000 bucks for that. Probably worth it, but I don't have $60,000. For sale, trommel, feeder, generator, and sluices. Oh, if it comes with a generator, I can see it being. Oh yeah, that's definitely worth 60. Huh. It's kind of nice. You could pull it all. That would be a pretty good setup there if you got it going. So basically $90,000 would take all that. That's like the price of a brand new pickup truck when you think about it. Alright, I thought I would just check out Stanley again. I was here a few years ago, but I never got any of it on film, so I'll do that right now. So, this is an old town site. Stanley was a little town here at the time. I think they only got one building left here. Down there, I'll show you guys. But I'll do a quick. I gotta hit the road, but I'll do a quick walk through the Stanley Cemetery here. It's kind of interesting because there's a lot of young men that are buried here. Because back in the gold rush days, it was not all the time, but it could have been pretty tough times at times, and chances of coming out here and not coming back were still pretty somewhat high. So, but there's a lot of graves in here that have later been dug up and moved. But anyway, there's a lot of Chinese people were buried here, and they were later the graves they were later exhumed and brought back to China. But you can pause and read these if you want. That's the Stanley Town site before all the buildings were gone, I guess. Anyway, here's one there. A lot of these were, you can see I think these were where the ones were dug up from. See, 38 years old, came from England. "38 years old from Denmark. 48 from Pennsylvania, Crawford County, Pennsylvania. See, back then you got sick and you just died basically. There wasn't nobody really to help you. That guy's from Scotland. A lot of these guys come over because around the time they were, in Europe and wanting to find a new life. "63 years old. Sitting member of the BC Legislature, Captain John Evans. 43 years old. unmarked grave here. 57, Lancashire, England. Hey, Abram Barlow Scott. That guy was fairly old. But anyway, what happened here is I think those are some of the Chinese graves over there. Because Barkerville had a fairly high Chinese population at the time, and during the gold rush. And I think, well, it probably says on that sign, I didn't read it, I probably should read it, but what happened was when whoever was buried here, the Chinese man or woman that passed away was buried here, and then later on their families back in China arranged to have their bodies dug up here and then brought back to China to be buried in a cemetery over there. So that's history behind that. We got one, Crawford Tom, 1902 to 1990, so that's a fairly newer grave. Lil, 1906 to 1993. Tom, 1902 to 1990, so. Huh. That's probably, I'm guessing, probably the newest grave here, 1990. This guy here, Tom and Lil Crawford. That guy was fairly, I'm not sure where he's buried, but it's a fairly newer, 1978. But there might be some over here. I don't know. There's a fairly bigger area, but okay, here's one of the Chinese graves here that was not dug up. I think these were all Chinese graves right here, probably. And I'm guessing over there just because of the indents in the ground. But you see, there's some of these other indents here, like here and here, that very well could have been graves, but it's hard to tell. A lot of them right in here, little indents, but I'd say that could have been caused by something else. But I'm kind of thinking those are probably grave sites. But it's kind of wet and my shoes are getting wet. Not very waterproof. They're not a very big cemetery, but and it's actually not as young of people buried here. You can see some of these old pioneer gold rush grave sites. There's a lot of 20-year-olds buried, because they come out here and you kind of had a 50-50 chance sometimes of surviving. It was really something happened to you in the bush or whatever. There was really nobody, not like today, there really was nobody coming to help you. You really were on your own. It was really a every man for himself society back then. But there's Stanley at the time. And anyway, I'll go down there. I think there's only one building left of Stanley, so we'll go take a quick look at that, and then I'm going to hit the road. Alright, so here's the last remaining house of Stanley, British Columbia. And I can't go up to it because it says private property, but no trespassing. Danger, private property, no trespassing right there. But anyway, this is the last, I do believe this is the last remaining building of Stanley. I'm not sure if they were burnt, if they burnt down, torn down. I'll have to do some research, and I'll put a little thing on this video. I'll put a little information thing on this video. We'll have to do some research, but I say private property, but I'll just stand on this side of the property line, but I'm not gonna go any farther than this. But anyway, I'm not sure what that is. You can hear the creek over there. You can hear it. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there's the building right there. Yeah, so I'm not sure this. You got to think back then. A lot of these trees that are currently here could have been. Obviously, there could have been other trees here, or it could have been cleared at that time. I don't know, but so you got that building here, but who knows? There could have. I'm not sure what the buildings could have been over here. Probably all along here. I don't know where they all were, but kind of just look at this area, erase all the trees, and then you can kind of think. You got a building here, and you can kind of just imagine all the buildings around here. Alright, I don't know if I ever got this place on camera or not, but this is Blessing's grave. I know they have the mock-up of his what's his name? James Barry's trial in Barkerville up at the courthouse. I think he was one of the only people that ever got hung for a crime here in Barkerville during that time. But not sure. Don't want to take too much time, but I might take a quick run up here. I don't know. Oh, look at that! Somebody carved that guy out of a stump. I don't know if there's actually anything back here, but I'm just gonna try to do a quick run back here. I don't know if this actually goes anywhere, but oh, right here. That's all that's up here. In memory of C.M. Blessing, a native of Ohio, age 30 years, was murdered near this spot, May 31st, 1866. I don't know if he's actually buried here, or if this is just a memorial for him, but I don't know if he's actually buried here, or if this is just in memory of him, but I guess he was murdered somewhere. I don't know, who knows the exact location, but somewhere in this area here. But anyway, keep heading on. It's a very beautiful country in here. A lot of different terrains. It's a really nice. I'm not sure. There's always this nice smell around here. I don't know if it's just like the rotting pine needles on the ground or what it is, but you smell a lot more during fall than anything. So I don't know. Some moisture on the ground with the rotting vegetation potentially. I don't know. I like the smell anyway. Some more trails there. If you're ever in Barkerville, they got the courthouse up the hill, and they kind of do a reenactment of the of James Barry's trial. All right, I'm gonna keep heading on the road.